Hey everybody, it's Highly Alchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. In the last episode, we began our desert trek in Gobi's Valley, and in this episode, we are going to, well, finish the rest of Gobi's Valley, of course. I guess there's not really any further explanation because, that's what this Let's Play entails, about me just covering up you little shit. Yeah, they are very persistent like that. The way those scabbies are, they see you, no matter how far away you are, and then they come charging right at you. They are that persistent, let me tell you. And yeah, I didn't even mention this at all. I mean, you've been seeing me using the Talent Trot constantly, but if you're in Gobi's Valley, I would recommend always using the Talent Trot because those sand slopes are everywhere. And because of that, these pathways right on top of them are very narrow. And so, if you're not careful enough, then you could just slide down. So, I would, of course, recommend that you use a Talent Rod constantly. Well, at all costs, as long as you're in Gobi's Valley. And so, that's all the Jinjas collected, and there is a switch right here with a hexagon shape. What could it be, you may ask? Well, simple answer. There is an empty honeycomb piece. Inside this, well, not inside, I mean, doesn't even look like it's inside, but rather through this cactus ring. And let's go inside this pyramid here and see what we have. Oh yeah, another enemy I didn't go over. I do apologize for that. This is a Mum-Mum. You can't really kill them with the Rat-Tat-Rat. The only way you can ever do so is by using the Wonder Wing ability. Or I mean to say invulnerability. But yeah, that's the only way to ever kill them. Yeah, it's actually called the Wonder Wing. Well, it's the official name for it. I kept calling them either Invincibility or Gold Feathers, but yeah, the official name for it is Wonder Wing. So there you go. Anyway, so for this mission, it's basically a memory puzzle. And as pretty much anybody knows with these memory games, just make sure you find the right tiles or the kind of symbols that match perfectly, like those two red feathers. And it's under 100 seconds. And I did make a few mistakes right there because I actually kind of forgot the exactly where those images are. I mean, the yellow Jinjos would be easy because they're on the top right side. But it's been a long time, so so my memory is very much hazy with the memory tiles and exactly where the images match, or exactly the locations of them. But thankfully, at least I got them all. And so, of course, we get the Jiggy for it. Now, thankfully, though, keep in mind that these tiles do not change depending on your file. I mean, you guys might be wondering, since Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie are one of those games where everything randomizes depending on your file, well, almost everything. Thankfully, though, this puzzle is an exception. So they always stay the same regardless, so there's that there. That's fortunate enough. But you do want to make sure you get those memorized. Because, like I said, it's been such a long time. I mean, I haven't been able to play this game in a long time, well, because I had another N64, which didn't really work well, so I mean, it didn't work right, and my save data is always corrupted for some reason. So, I actually gave that one away, and I bought myself a new N64 instead, which is one I'm currently using right now. First and foremost, let me start right there. This camel, yeah, guess what? This guy is named Gobi. Apparently, he's the owner of this desert. Well, I mean, we could say that. We could probably say that he owns this desert, if he really is. I mean, he never says such, but I mean, that is name level. So apparently, he's suffering under this sweltering heat that, in the desert. And so he basically just has to free him from there. And yeah, I mean, you do see a bunch of camels around in deserts, but they still do need a bunch of shade. And so that's why we're here for Gobi, at least. Yeah, I mean, at least as far as I know, even though camels do live in deserts, they still do need the shade that they get, because even they can't go through the heat like that. So anyways, let's see, what was I, Oh, yeah, about that other N64. So, yeah, I did have another N64 back then. It was actually a Jungle Green N64. I think that would, I guess it might be in promotion for Donkey Kong 64 as far as I'm aware. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I originally had. Unfortunately, though, it was a kind of bad one because the save data will always get corrupted for some reason, and so it can't really keep its memory. So I gave that one away, and so I did buy myself a new N64. It's actually it's not of a unique color. It's actually a it's actually just a regular gray N64. That's basically the default color, or just a regular one, rather generic. But I did get one that's actually very much in perfect condition. I did buy one online. I had to search carefully for any of the N64s that are in perfect condition, just so that way I won't accidentally run into one that's not very good. Because there are still a bunch of N64s out there that, even though, like, despite their age, they're still good working ones in very great condition. So I did manage to buy one, and that's actually the current kind of console that I'm currently playing on. Well, just to play this game. And yeah, that was also the reason why those other N64 games that I played earlier in this channel, like Super Mario 64 and Kirby 64, that was the reason why I played those on the Virtual Console on the Wii U instead. Because I still had the other N64, but it didn't work well, and so I didn't want to take the risk. Oh yeah, that right there was Grabba, and this is where you do need the running shoes, just so that way there you can grab the just so that way there you can grab the Jiggy quickly, because if you do try to attempt to do so, then he'll actually dodge that, and he will troll you for that. That's basically what he is. He's a troll. But just make sure you have the running shoes and you try to get the Jiggy. So yeah, again, that was the reason why I ended up having to play those two games on the Wii U Virtual Console, because N64 I had didn't work right, so I didn't want to take the risk. But now that I have that new N64, and now that I'm able to play Banjo-Kazooie with no problems, then from now on, starting with this, then all the other N64 games that I would be doing Let's Plays of, I will be buying those exact copies and play those on the N64 themselves. So that way there I won't have to worry about having to worry about the save data getting corrupted, and it's doing good so far. I mean, sure, I still have to save the game just by saving and quitting for this game, but you know, no problems whatsoever. I'm still able to make good progress through the game itself. And yeah, this is actually one of those instances after freeing Gobi. He's right over here in front of Trunker, and he says he needs water for himself. And so, guess what? We actually cause him misery. Yep, this is actually a sort of running gag where we basically cause Gobi some grief by beak busting right into his back and forcing him to give up on the water that he has, or whatever else he has inside of him. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing that. Huh, poor guy. All the suffering, all the misery he has to go through because we have to make him give up everything that he's worked oh so hard for, all the hardships he has to go through for some water or anything else. Only for it to be all for nothing. Oh, the misery. But anyways, so now we have all 10 of the Jiggies, and that's about it. Well, I should say we're almost done with Gobi's Valley. I think, yeah, just one more empty honeycomb, and where could that be, you may ask? Well, we'll have to find out soon enough. But we have all 10 of the Jiggies, and there's just a few more music notes we have to collect. And that last empty honeycomb piece, so where could it be? And why is Gobi over there? How did he get up there past those quicksand pits? Well, first let's get the last few music notes, and that's all of them. And so... Oh, that's where the empty honeycomb piece is the whole time. Why did he even swallow that? Anyways, so yeah. We just went ahead and caused more grief to Gobi just by forcing him to spit out the empty honeycomb pieces. Now he's finally fed up with all those mishaps that we put him through. And now he left the desert. And, well, maybe that might not be the last time we ever get to see of him, so maybe in a future world. Also, there's a door right here, and this is actually something that we do need to remember. I mean, we can't really access it, but, I mean, why would there be a door here if there's no way we can ever access it? Well, there's gotta be a way, but we'll have to find out much later on. So, this is another thing that we had to remember. I said the same thing for that one, or for Shark Fruit Island, and the ice skate that we saw. What could this possibly mean? I smell a conspiracy. But again, more on that later. But yeah, that's kind of another thing that, well, I mean, maybe I don't really regret that much about those two Let's Plays for Super Mario 64 and Kirby 64, but part of me kind of wish that I would just play those games in their original forms, well, on an actual N64. Although that's actually mainly because playing Super Mario 64 on an actual N64, well, using the controller itself, it's... Well, that's actually because those controls are more refined to that. Because if you play on the Virtual Console, even though it does look better on the Wii U, well, just by emulation of the N64 graphics, well, because the analog stick on the Wii U, either on the gamepad or the Pro Controller, it's very sensitive, and so it does feel very much awkward for Mario to control, well, just on that analog stick. That's mainly because his kind of control is much more refined on the control stick on the N64 controller. But just playing on the Virtual Console, then, yeah, it does feel a little more awkward. And just a bit strange. But, you know, that was just more justified because, you know, that other N64 I had, it didn't work right. The save data is always corrupted, and so I was forced to play that on the Virtual Console on the Wii U. But thankfully, though, I now have a new and much better N64 console itself, and so I'm able to play Banjo-Kazooie on that console without any problems whatsoever, and that's what it'll be for from now on. For any future N64 LPs I'll be playing for this channel. Anyway, so we are finally done with Gobi's Battle, like I said, and now, before we actually get back to Freezeezy Peak, now that we have learned the running shoes, and we can get back over there for the rematch against Boggy, of course, first thing I'm going to be doing is getting the Jiggy that was from the Grunty Switch in Freezeezy Peak itself. And so, under 12 seconds after Big busting on the Switch, then a fly pad will appear, but this is where you need the running shoes for it, because if time runs out, then that fly pad will shatter itself, and you had to go back and pound on that switch again, and just, you know, start all over again. And I think just by jumping, then while using running shoes, the speed is a little increased a bit more. Oh yeah, watch out for that Sir Slush that's right next to you right there. Because as you're trying to use running shoes, then it basically just disrupts your time to get over to the flight pad. Well, as a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, by getting hit by a Sir Slush's snowball, then it's very much of a guaranteed fail. So be careful with that. Anyway, so now we are back in Freezeezy Peak, and I was actually trying to collect all the music notes right there, but then I was like, oh wait, I already got all the music notes. I got all 100 of them. There's no need to collect them all over again. Because, you know, I'm already done with this world. Well, not quite yet, though, because there's that last Jiggy. So, anyway, so, hello there, you fucking failure. Here to accept your race yet again, this time with running shoes. Yeah, the only reason we do need the running shoes is because we will see here in a second. Let me just get the dialogue right here. Because in the rematch against Boggy, he actually is much faster, and without the running shoes, then it's a guaranteed win, or actually a guaranteed failure, because, well, him being the failure himself, a father, that, you know, if you're too far behind, then you'll find it too easy, and he'll just forfeit the race. So that's where the running shoes come into play. And so with that, then, we're able to surpass Boggy very easily, well, since he's gotten much faster. So yeah, same as before, just go through these red slalom gates, and don't fall in the water either. But just do the same thing as before. And yeah, that's, like I said here, and I almost screwed that right there. Yeah, like I said before, this is actually the only instance in Banjo-Kazooie where we had to do backtracking just to get that one Jiggy, because we didn't have the move from before. Yeah, it's very weird like that. I mean, the only time to ever do so, it's just odd. It kind of is. I mean, sure, Banjo-Kazooie... Or, no, no, we're playing Banjo-Kazooie. Sheesh, that's what we're playing right now. What are you talking about? Banjo-Tooie, actually. Yeah, sure, I mean, there's a bunch of backtracking involved in there, but... I mean, to be fair, though, that's only because, like, you know, because of those new moves that you learn in later worlds, and there are certain jiggies in each of the worlds in which, oh yeah, first things first, let me give you a few punches for being an absolute failure of a father. Also, he did say that he was going to go look for the kids' presents, but guess what? He never does so. Because if you go back to his house, he will actually fall asleep. And make sure you go to get the presents, go with the presents yourselves. Yep, of course, fitting with his reputation of being a failure. But yeah, in Banjo-Tooie's case, like, for each of the worlds, there's some jiggies in which you can't actually get without some of the moves that Jam Jars would teach you. And so you have to get to the worlds later on. But even then, that's actually, I mean, I'm not slamming the game because of that. I mean, that's what a lot of people give the game flack for because of the constant backtracking. But to be fair, though, that's only because, you know, a lot of the new moves would come into play. And, you know, it's actually new discoveries. Or, like, just getting those new jiggies just to use those new moves. And, you know, it kind of expands on the world a bit more. So, I mean... I, for one, am not actually getting flack for Banjo-Tooie because of that. You know, Donkey Kong 64 actually did the exact same thing with the, well, the very same mission where, in Fungi Forest, you actually race against a rabbit as Lanky Kong. And so, after you win against him, he doesn't give you the golden banana, he gives you those 3 blue coins, well, for Lanky Kong himself, because, you know, because of his color. And so, you actually have to wait until you get to Crystal Caves and learn Lanky's move, the handstand sprint, basically. And so you go back to Fungi Forest, and so you race against the rabbit again, and that's where you have to, that's where you can only do so after unlocking the handstand sprint. And then you get your golden banana. It's actually the exact same thing as Banjo-Kazooie, so it's weird like that, but, I mean, not to slam the whole games because of that, I just find it weird. I mean, you know, I also love Donkey Kong 64 as well. It's just, like I said, I'll say this a third time. It's weird, but... Anyway, so we are officially done with Freezeezy Peak. We have all 10 of the jiggies, and so, yeah, that does it for this video, so I'm going on for too long. So, next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, we are, of course, heading to our next world, and... maybe something spooky, you know? But we'll see. So, until next time, see you guys later.